right, well, hello, everybody, and we're back.
Welcome.
Welcome.
What more could you want?
That's right. This is a video podcast. It's brought to you by Barrel Brains. Jeff and I both play a part with Barrel Brains in one way or another. Jeff started out as in my friend group as a coach, as a mentor, and has evolved and become a very good friend. I would say more like family. And now we sit here and we talk about things that we hope you find relevant, right?
Or just laugh with us or whatever.
Yeah, or at us. Like we're totally cool. Like our egos,
Either way.
Our egos tend to be pretty small lately. So yeah, it's just shoot away. We talk about a lot of things on this show.
Oh, we do.
We have really gone around the robin, if you will, as of the last 13 episodes, and it's not by design. In fact, it's absolutely by design that it's not by design.
Yeah.
Right? It's intending to not do anything is still intending to do something, right?
It's kind of like we have not a direct purpose to each one. It's just kind of what is the flow, what hits us.
Yeah.
Each time that we get together, like, what are we going to talk about? Something that hit us, what's going on.
That's right.
Whatever it may be. It's not like we have this, kind of, we're going to do this, and this. It literally is a lot of times what you guys don't see before we get on here and hit record is, we'll, banter, bullshit back and forth for a little bit. And then we know then, or, before we talk and text, but we literally decide typically right before we hit record what we're going to talk about with you guys.
That's right. It's sort of like living in the now, right?
Yes.
You don't have any expectations of what you're going to provide or what you're going to receive. But if it strikes a chord and you dig it, then we hope that you come back and you hope that you tell somebody.
Absolutely.
We are obviously in our infancy here, but we have been doing the things that we talk about and the things we suggest for quite some time, both in our own way.
Absolutely.
You don't ever get to where you want to go by doing the exact same thing as somebody else.
It's true.
Exactly. So that's the stuff we like to talk about here. And with the crazy events of the last few days, few months, I mean, it feels like it's going on a year now.
2020 has been a long year. We're
it has
just over the half. Well, now we're over the halfway mark and then some. But
I still swear to God,
I think the biggest hurdle is still yet to come. So
today's supposed to be a pretty big day. Today's we're recording this on 22 July, and there's something out there. There's a lot of stuff out there in reference to like the dark web and all this stuff about how today, 22 July, is supposed to be some reckoning day of some sort. Now, this has all been said before. But it's usually out of the blue. But when we get, the shit sandwich handed to us, so to speak, and you take a bite, I don't like that. But then the next day, you get another one. It looks a little different, but it still tastes the same, right?
Well, that's what a lot of people could say, like 2020 has been with everything that's happening.
That's where I was going.
When you think about, that's what I was saying, like, you got to wait to come is what's going to happen in the school year, what's going to happen with more businesses, when this potentially peaks, like they say, like what will be happening again? Are we going to completely shut down again? What are we going to do? It'll be
right.
A whole interesting factor when it's all said and done.
Right. And I think that, just mentioning this little, sort of the disturbance in our force, if you will, like,
that's the way to put it.
Right. There's something going on. You don't quite know what it is, but you can feel it. Some people like it. Some don't. Some people are playing an active role. Some aren't. I really don't have any perfect answer for anybody, but maybe go back through some of our episodes and learn how, or relearn how to separate yourself from all that chaos.
Yeah, the day-to-day madness, We've talked many times, no different than social media. If the news is driving you nuts, guess what? Don't watch the news. You got friends on your social media that are driving you nuts.
That's right.
You don't want to defriend them? Cool. Guess what? There are many functions that you can do to block them.
Yeah.
You're still friends with them. You can search them and see what they're up to if you don't like what they're spitting, or you just unfollow people. And I was telling you before we got on, like on some of my social media stuff, I've gotten rid of a lot of people that I've followed, because if you're not providing any context, valuable, information or positivity or just something that I feel is adding to my life, I'm not going to follow you. And it's not being mean. I just don't find value in your content or the crap that you're spitting. And that's fine. If you don't like me either, great. You don't got to follow me either. But it's things like that. I think people, you can kind of dictate your day a little bit more if you stop searching all the negative things on social media, the news, like find things that put you in center and put you in a more positive place. Then when you're better able to handle those things, maybe then you can unblock that person or, restart seeing their stuff or refollow somebody. But,
right.
For some people, if you're just not providing content, it's not that, oh, sorry, your social media sucks. No, you're not providing anything that enriches my life.
Yeah, I said something the other day to some folks. Basically like, hey, if you want to dwell on one or the other and not the context, if you don't want to look behind the mask, if you don't want to figure out who's got their arm up the back of some puppeteer, if you will, then it's not you, but that's not me either, and I don't want that. And some people have said, well, do you just want to be surrounded by people that are just like you?
Well, no.
Well, hold on, though. In that regard, in the loving, caring, respectful, in that regard, yes.
I get that.
100%. Like, you like blue, I like green? Cool. I don't care. But if you want to allow your politics, which most people know nothing about, but if you want to let those politics get in the way of everything else, then that's on you. That's not me. I can't let that happen.
It's a big thing, too, is, with it being a, election year, that people get divided by that, and that's fine. That is no different than you going back to cool.
Yeah.
Blue and
totally,
green.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Just because you don't agree or you guys don't you don't like the same sports teams, who cares? I would not want to be in a room of, 100 people who we exactly all fall on the same line. It would be pretty dull day in and day out to not have any disagreements. You would not have any, good debates, opening conversations to see different sides. That's what people should do. But if you're like, because of someone's view on something, certain views, yes, I can see, get rid of them. But you don't agree on a color, that doesn't mean that you should be kicking somebody
we
out
need
of your
variety,
life.
right? Like,
yes.
If I was to say that I wanted everybody to be just like me, well, then I would be a complete raging lunatic, racist, bigot, Nazi, whatever you want to call me, because, now I don't want anybody else around me because I believe I'm the only valuable thing. But that's not how it is. And that's sort of what leads us to where we're going today, right?
Yeah.
Like, you can put something out there into the universe that's complex and hard to deal with out of love, right? You can do that out of respect and admiration for mankind, your friends, your family, yourself. But when you start putting things out there about how this person or that group should not be included because of this, that, or any other reason, well, then that's not something that I can argue any longer. That's just something that I'm going to say, okay, I don't want to be associated with you or your group or whatever you are.
Yeah,
and we can still share a cup of coffee or tea or something, hell, I probably still love you. I just can't have your influence in my head.
Yeah.
Right? Because my head's a little fragile. My head is still under construction. My head needs to be solid.
Everyone's head is under construction. Yours is just in a different light of trying to fix things of what you've seen and what you've had to deal with.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I would agree with that. Yeah. I think, and I've said that, probably too many times. So dead horse, here we go. But everybody's got their pile of shit that they stand on. Everybody. And they stand on it every day, and they wave their flag from it, and they want you to notice them. I want to be noticed. I want somebody to give me validity that my problems are really what's causing my strife. That's like enabling your friend who's an alcoholic. You need to show other people and show yourself that the problems outside of you don't have to shape who you are. You can avoid those. You can circumnavigate those waters. You can learn how to dig deeper. And that's what Jeff and I want to talk about today. So,
start it.
Let's do it. All right. So, I want to read the meaning of a couple words that are very, very basic to our language, to our vernacular, to our society. But what they are not obvious in is the true meaning and how people should sort of go back to the well to these words. First one is respect. And I don't mean when your dad yells at your mom and says you don't respect me. I don't mean how you have a healthy respect for God, whatever, or whoever that may be. What I mean is the actual meaning, a feeling of deep admiration for someone or something elicited by their abilities, qualities, or achievements. Second one is due regard for the feelings, wishes, rights, or traditions of others. Okay, so if you respect someone, then you give compassion or empathy towards all of these, their traditions, their rights, their wishes, their feelings, maybe their skin color, maybe their sexual preference, maybe they're a veteran, and maybe you don't really like the military, so you associate that veteran with the military, whatever it is. And whether it's respect or a lack of it, let's go back to the core here. Again, I want to read the first one here, a feeling of deep admiration. So when you respect someone, you have a deep admiration for them.
You should.
You can't just say, I respect you, but I respect you when, I respect you if. A feeling of deep admiration for someone or something elicited by their abilities, qualities, or achievements. Holy shit, man. I don't see a lot of respect out in the world these days.
I think it's a forgotten thing amongst humans. I saw a little video that someone shared of Bill Nye talking about the world. You know, he talked about Pangea before that, but he had a map, and he showed, you know, different colors and stuff like that. But to sum it up, he quickly goes, we all started here in Africa. The next map he showed the world based on skin color.
Yeah.
It faded out from, you know, a darker brown to lighter and white. And he goes, your skin color is based on vitamin D, folic acid, this, and this, to where you live. If you were darker, you lived in places where you were closer to the sun, where you needed to block it a little to protect yourself. Then as you get further away from it, but he goes, you know, and the same thing he was talking about, that we all come from the same place, but no matter what, we don't see each other that way anymore, that we're all related to this. And what are we doing to change it? It was like a quick little thing. It was like him only talking like 20 seconds, but it's true.
There's so much to that.
There is a lot of, or I should not a lot of, but there is no more respect, it seems, for your fellow man. Like how many people get pissed off at someone or, you know, driving, you know, we talked about before the last time I had to get here, get traffic, but it happens, but simple little things that another human, no respect for human life anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. And when you say that, some people will probably feel defensive. Like, well, I respect people. Well, maybe you do. We're not talking to everybody, but a large portion of what you see throughout the day is people that will tell you to your face they respect you or what you're doing, but they really don't. They just want to placate or get through the moment or whatever it may be. They're not respectful of the bigger picture and how they are just a blurb, like the guy next to them is a blurb, like their grandmother was just a blurb or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're all little, I mean, okay, this is getting a little out there, but if we are all the same granules of sand in our universe, why do you get mad at anything? Right? Well, and that's me too. I mean, I'd love to answer that myself.
It's a hard thing to answer, but you know, anger or, you know, sadness, whatever, human emotions that come, certain things trigger people more than different and others and stuff like that. But I think it goes exactly that. We all come from, you know, the same sandbox in a sense that, why does it have to be the way it is?
Yeah.
But it's also that I think over time that certain individuals, how they grown, you know, we've seen it. You take two children or multiple children of different races, do not see different colors. They just see, oh, hey, you want to play? Cool. Let's be friends. They don't see anything else.
Yep.
All this other stuff is, you know, it's been proven, is taught.
Yeah.
Hate, racism, and all this. Well, if you don't be that change in the lineage of where it's coming from, here's this group again, here's this group. And I think that we're all guilty of not trying to change the way we view the world in certain races, situations. We all kind of hold onto that little line. We might deviate from it, but we still hold on to the way, you know, our family or our friends or, you know, group has thought. And I think we need to kind of completely let go of that
Right.
to rethink and re-see the world of what it is.
When you take, and you mentioned the motherland or Africa, motherland, as many people refer to it by, as science included.
Mm-hmm.
And you say, okay, your culture was surrounded by hunting, gathering, music, a lot of music.
Yeah, and art, yeah.
I mean, tons of music over there, mostly percussion, but a lot of it. And what comes along with music in a society? Like, if you took everything out of the society and you crammed 300 and something million people into an amphitheater, and you played music, as long as it was good, happy, good, simple music, whatever, everybody would be in harmony. Now, everybody might not like it. It might not be like, oh, well, this is more country. I don't.
But
like
if everyone had that open view, you would appreciate it for what it is. But that is not the world anymore.
Does your foot tap? Do you find yourself nodding your head? Do you
Yeah.
like? There's nothing more basic, for me at least, that will put a smile on my face.
No, like there's certain songs on the radio. Nothing. I don't like the lyrics. That's a really good beat. I like that. Like,
yes. So there's always something.
Then you focus on that. Maybe I don't hit the lyric. I don't hit those so much. But
right. But I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's just little things like that. You don't have to always like. But I think that's again that most people, and I'm guilty of it too, is you don't open your eyes. To see like, okay, what am I listening to, or what am I viewing or seeing? Okay. For a moment, have no opinion on it. Just actually focus on what you're listening to, viewing, reading. Take it in, okay, and then have an unbiased opinion. Well, before you even do that, everyone has an opinion before they even get to truly have it, even before they have any experience with what's coming.
Well, what if we did this? Let me make another analogy. What if we took a big old ball mason jar, and we took multiple pieces of sand from multiple beaches or the ground or dirt or whatever from multiple countries, multiple provinces, counties, whatever, and you put them all out on a sheet or something in their respective groups, and you label them, right? You might have one that's white from the nice manufactured and combed beaches in Clearwater. You might have something that's a little more like dirt or brown from the Middle East, right?
Yeah.
What if then you took all of those and put them into the mason jar, shook it up, and you looked at it? Do you really think you could make a difference overall between each little speck?
Oh.
Because, Jeff, people, friends, that's all we are.
You would have to take a microscope, and that's a good way of thinking of it.
There you go. You would have to
take a microscope, and I think that's what people do is you try to take a microscope to dig into things and break it apart versus seeing it as a whole, which it needs to be seen. Certain things, yes, can be broken down into smaller entities, but if you don't see it for the actual whole purpose of it,
bing,
you lose it.
Right there. I'm a firm believer that those mason jars, although metaphorically, there's only one of them.
Yeah.
And that's where we all come from, is that mason jar. So how can we not have a feeling of deep admiration for someone or something elicited by their abilities, qualities, or achievements, or maybe the due regard for the feelings, wishes, rights, or traditions of others? Maybe if as soon as you came out of that mason jar, you practiced these two different definitions of respect, how could you not look at your fellow grain of sand and say, man, I need you to fill up this mason jar with me?
Yeah, but again, it goes to people not understanding others and their rituals versus asking the questions of, okay, hey, you're, religion X and I'm religion Y. Well, what made you want to be religion X, and what do you guys do? What are some of your practices? What do you believe? Do you guys have books? Well, it's open discussion to learn, curiosity, which you should have as a human, versus you're X, I'm Y. Screw you. Well, why?
Well, look at the Christian religion, and I'm not dogging on anybody that is a Christian.
Religion
is
a huge thing because the battle of religion has been going on since
So what I'm saying, because I
forever.
only know Christianity because I was raised in the Lutheran church, right? What I mean is, if you're going to another country, province, county, whatever, and you sit down with a family just like you just said. You're like, hey, tell me about this. This is amazing. Like, I came here to learn. But we don't go places to learn. We go places to get other people to learn what we want them to learn.
Well, to escape, but yes, like,
right?
If I'm going to go to a foreign country and I'm working in a particular area, I'm going to do some research on culture, things you should be aware of.
Yes, of course.
What's accepted, what's not. Obviously, if I probably couldn't learn the language in the time frame, pay Mita, but that when you get to these places, you are still respectful of where you're going because you are a guest in technically their home. And I think that's a big thing too, is a lot of people when we travel, which that's kind of null and void now, but you go to these foreign countries and you just continue to go on as living if it's your home, but you can't do that. You know, there are so many countries that certain things we do that are norm would be completely disrespectful in other cultures.
Well, and we still do to this day.
Well, we still do. And it's things like that, so what, that you took a moment to do a little research of where you're going or get to know your, coworker, friend, whomever.
Totally, yeah.
To know, like, hey, I looked this up. I did not know this about, religion X. That's kind of fascinating. Like, to think that they would appreciate you going, well, thank you for, trying to do, learn that about me or about our religion.
Right.
If you took the time to do that versus just throw it under the, the bus, so to speak.
Right. No, I think so too. But it has to be genuine. It can't be so you're building talking points or retorts for what you really came to do.
Well, yeah, you can't sit there and flip the switch that well, in mine, we do it this because of this.
Right, yeah, that's what I mean.
It can be a healthy, okay, in religion X, you guys believe that this is this. Well, in ours, we do this.
Yeah.
And I go, it's fascinating that they're similar, but yet you guys believe that's no different than Christianity and Jewish, believing that, Jesus has come and Jesus has not come.
Yeah, man.
But there's many alikes. Okay, well, cool. That agree to disagree in your belief, but that doesn't mean that you need to, sit there and say one is wrong. Great.
Yeah.
What is, if you step back from those two, what is the big thing you both agree on? Oh, you both believe in Jesus and God. Great. Leave it at that.
Yeah.
But I don't think people see things like that anymore. The world is, we don't see that you're my fellow human, no matter what you look like, your belief, sexuality, color.
We're conquerors, man. We're conquerors.
People want to dominate over other people.
The same thing. The same thing.
Exactly. It's a conqueror.
We started out as conquerors, right? Which, back then that's how things were. You took things by force. You know what I mean? Like, it was.
We really don't have to do that anymore. We're more a civilized nation that you don't. I want this land. I'm going to take it. It doesn't work that. There might be a few spots in the world where you can go and claim unmarked territory.
Yes.
I know in Australia you can actually go and mark land. Learn on a gold show. You can go and take land, but it takes time for the paperwork. But you can go and claim it if no one purchases it, like old school way. But it's like,
right.
That's very rare. It's not like I'm going to go, hey neighbor, this is my yard now. You get to come here.
Yeah.
We will go to war if you. No, we're a civilized society, and a lot of those things we don't have to do, which is great. It's good to not think that, who's going to come and attack who at the end of the day, But,
totally, man. Why don't we just set up a weekend coming up and just invite some people out to meditate? Wouldn't that be cool? Just, hey, and we could just go in the field across the street, throw down our pads. I'll bring the music or whatever it is. We sit and we meditate.
Just open up the app and
just start talking to each. You know what I mean? Just start talking. Just start and maybe we will actually start to get some people included that we would have no idea that they'd be there. And I'm just spitballing here live, I know, but I think that'd be a lot of fun. That'd be a good way to get some people around to try to start building that culture of that mind frame, and not one of inclusivity or exclusivity. It's just a group. It's just people. And we don't quite know how to go forward, but we know how, we know what we want to get out of it.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's nowhere near where we are right now, right? We have to sort of cultivate from what we've done, and we know, okay, I'm not a toddler anymore. I don't shit my pants every day. It's time to grow up. And I think that's where we are. I think 2020 is the year of us shitting our diaper.
I feel a little bit of society has gone back. There's been a lot of, COVID stuff. Election years are always crazy. The nonsense of,
you can see it so clearly now.
The trafficking, stuff, all this stuff is just, it all came at a time where the world wasn't ready for it, at least us here in America. Other countries deal with it too, but the world was not ready to take more into its plate. But as the old saying goes, life doesn't throw more at you than you can handle. I think so many people have gotten so much thrown at them in life that you don't have to deal with. Like Bruce Lee, one of his famous quotes is, "Don't pray for an easy life, pray for the ability to endure a difficult one." Well, if you had an easy life, it would not be, you wouldn't grow, you wouldn't better yourself, you would just be stagnant in yourself. There would be no self-improvement.
Well, you wouldn't ever get past the hard part.
Well, no, right? But if you had the easy life, it would literally be, you would never grow. You would never get outside of that comfort zone because you would never have had to. Well, yeah, like things go wrong. This goes wrong. This goes wrong. This, okay, great. But that builds you up, as no different than people say when they get older, that if those things would not have happened, I wouldn't be who I am. No different than the things that you wish that you could, we could all say, I wish that never had happened. But if it didn't,
we wouldn't be here.
You may not exist in this moment right now for those things.
Totally, man. My life could have been one of like, ooh, this is good shit. I never want to do anything.
Your family, same thing. If, I've, as I get older, you accept it. But like, if my dad never had passed, what would my life? Well, I probably wouldn't have my wife. I wouldn't have my daughter. I may be married and have kids, but it wouldn't be this life.
Dude, you could have been the typical MMA fighter, the stereotypical guy, right, that gets into MMA for the wrong reasons.
I don't even know I would have done
You
MMA.
may not have, but you could have went in and just fought out of anger and fought out of rage or fought out of pain or whatever. But it could have never been the loving, calculated approach to make yourself a better husband, father, friend, family.
I did it because I enjoyed it. As crazy as it sounds, get hit and kicked and punched in the face. Yeah, the aftermath sucks. But
hey, listen, there's nothing better than getting woken up.
I still miss getting, I don't want to sit and break my nose and some of my bones in my face again, but, get punched, not a big deal. It doesn't mean if you know me, come out and randomly punch me.
Hey, what's up? High five? Nope. You're getting punched in the face.
But, it's those kind of things, your course of action in life, but, love and respect, but it's seeing your path, but seeing others and seeing different people's journeys, that this is what made them.
Yeah.
The shit show that maybe someone is not right in your eyes. Well, you don't know the things that they've dealt with for X amount of years that made them this person.
Right.
And again, as another saying goes, you never know what everyone's going through their own battles. You might think yours is, but the person who's sitting there cool, calm, and collective might be having the worst time of their life ever.
Oh, their life, or maybe their life just sucks because it's always
they don't
something.
Show it externally to you. They are being emotionalist, just blank slate here.
Right.
And I think that's a big thing, is taking those two words of love and respect, because I think they intertwine so well that, one, you should respect everyone, and we're all guilty of this, no matter who you are. You can never say that you're always respectful. But to respect people, but especially if those people you love, you have that bigger bond with, it should too go hand in hand, because it should be like that, the figure eight. It should always be woven in and back and out, because they go so well together. They are the same entity, basically.
Well, that goes back to what you were talking about earlier today, was you're not going to have a left without a right, so to speak. Yeah. And I'm not talking about politics. I mean hands, feet, legs, whatever, and naturally, right? You've got a left eye because you got a right eye. We could all just have one big eye.
Yeah, could have been Cyclopses.
Peripheral vision would have sucked, right? There's all sorts of these things, and if you lose one thing, well, you've got another one that can get you through, right? Well, like Jeff was saying earlier, and then how he just said and tied it in, I don't know if you realize it or not, but that living the easy life, that never putting your foot in the hot water, it's always got to be in the medium. It can't be cold. It's got to be perfect. That life doesn't have enough sour in it to make your sweet very sweet.
That's not living.
It's not living. Because when I tell you that you're supposed to suffer when you try things, when I tell you that you're supposed to trip when you don't see something, that's all part of it. And that's we mean that. That's when you fall in your own vomit because you've passed out from working too hard, that's what we mean. It sucked. It was horrible. But when you recover and you realize, oh, I can't do that if I want to get to the next level, that's growth. That's how people build beautiful things. That's how painters paint beautiful things. Do you think that, and I'm not going to throw out the easy names, but let's just say my favorite, Banksy. Do you think on day one he just woke up, he could draw that kind of passion and imagery? No.
Took time.
He sucked at it, man. He sucked just like we all do when you start, right?
Yeah.
So I just want to commend you, Jeff, because that ability to be able to say and live helps you when shit does go bad.
Yeah.
You just recognize it for what it is. It's another book. It's another coaster. It's whatever. It's just another thing that you've got to figure out.
Yeah, and I'll still say, we're all human, that you're going to have the moments of blowing up and fighting back and this and that, which is normal, but it's a big thing of being able to, at times, take a step back from things. And, like I said, I can't say always, but seeing the world in a bigger picture of, okay, why did this happen? This happened. Okay, well, certain things you may not have noticed until this changed. Okay, well, now this changed and this changed. Okay, well, now I see a bigger picture of something that I was neglecting or not doing.
Or maybe a pattern.
Yeah,
right?
Okay, then I step back from that. And it always goes to that, and that's all these books and things I read are like Years of Martial Arts. It's like, okay, if, 3 of you are coming at me and I'm staring at you, guess what? The other 2 assholes are going to get me here. Stepping back. Well, are there 3 here? Are there 3 behind them? Like, always taking a step back in life to, instead of focusing on just exactly what's right in front of you, is what is all around you.
Yeah, totally.
And that's a thing to do in your day-to-day, just experiences with your, significant others, your kids, your job, just out in life, like those types of things. Like today, out running a few errands, like almost got hit like 3 times. I'm like, what the flip?
Right.
One person running a stop sign. It's going to happen. Young kid swerving in a lane, probably texting, trying to change music. And I was like, oh, shit. I guess okay, cool. And then almost got hit in a parking lot by a car. It wouldn't have been bad because they're not going fast. But it's like, okay, 3 things. And I'm not even, this is on my journey to where I was going to get crap. It's like, holy crap.
I haven't even gotten to the mountain yet.
I'm but if you're so focused, again, like if I was driving, that as they teach you, defensively drive, as you're taught.
Yeah.
But if you would only focus just literally like we've talked about before on that, checkered lane and then the white lane on the outside, you would be in accidents every single day. Yeah. You really have to see everything. You have to broaden your eyes and horizons to see that, life can suck at moments and it's difficult, but I promise you, if it literally followed that white line and it was easy, you would be a very, very dull life.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
You would never be good at anything. You would just be, or great. Right. You would just be good and like
you'll
average.
Get left behind.
Oh, yeah.
By your peers, your colleagues, friends and family. And when they're fighting through the struggle and you're sitting back all prideful and boastfully saying, well, my life's good. I don't have any of those issues. The other person is looking at that and potentially picking up on that, thinking that you've never had any problems and you've gotten everything you've wanted. But in reality, you've just never done the things that they're doing. So now you think it's easy. Now you think it's a waste of time. Now you think that you don't know the sweet and sour. All you know is the sweet. And when you look at those people doing that, the people that are working, it's easy to look down on them, right? Given that situation. It's also easy for the person that's doing the digging or the hard work to think that they're never going to get anywhere because all these people around them have just got it made. Mm-hmm. All right? It's no different than living in a neighborhood. Every single house is its own little ecosystem. The energies are different.
Even if they all look the same.
Yes, like your neighborhood or mine. The houses tend to look a little familiar. Everything is different, but they're all judged on the same basis, the same principles, all that same shit. And if one isn't like the next, but the other one's like the next, you may end up finding yourself, if you're not careful, feeling like you're part of the have-nots or the not the cool crowd, or not you don't hang out with the cool kids. But in reality, what they don't know is that you're busy building your foundation because you want to live how nobody else has ever dreamt of living.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they say, like when you're building an empire, they say, do what nobody else wants to do, so later you can do what everybody else wants to do.
Yes.
Right? That's sort of a shitty way to look at it, but it's definitely
it's
meaningful.
It has its truthful points.
It's powerful, So I don't know. I don't know if it's got any more use than that, but it's very helpful to keep an open mind no matter what side of our life that you're on. If you're young, if you're old, you may have thought that you were the most understanding and compassionate and loving person in the world, and then after a while it started to taper, because this lifestyle is not one that does anything by itself.
Yeah.
That's how we got here. Yeah. We let other things happen. The lifestyle that Jeff and I are preaching about, if you will, is the hardest work you can imagine every day. It does get easier, but imagine if you're sitting there with a room of people and everybody is saying the same thing and they are legitimately wrong. Mm-hmm. You have facts that back up whatever you're thinking or stating or whatever. You're going to probably, if you live your life the way we have for the last century or whatever, you're probably going to get angry, get mad, whatever, instead of stepping back and realizing that, oh, wait, I didn't do my work today.
Yeah.
I didn't set myself straight before I walked out of the house. I didn't do this. And how many people do you hear or do you know that might say, yeah, but you're a little off. You have to do that. Well, to all my friends that think or thought that, I think you're a little off. And I think it's time for you to have an open mind.
To go along with that, of the open mindedness and everything, but and like you're saying, like with the empire and these things, is if you want to make these changes, like, we've talked about a few podcasts, taking that leap of faith like I've done here recently to completely change your life, to go in a different direction, to remove yourself from things that you no longer need to be a part of. You also have to first and foremost change, like what we've tried to teach you guys so far over these 14 episodes, is changing your mindset. Like, okay, you want to lose weight, great, but if you don't have the mindset or the willpower, you're not going to do that.
That's right.
Do things that enrich your mind, whether it's books or podcasts or meditation or people or doing certain things. If it's healthy and productive and it's enriching your mind to make it stronger for you to do other things, continue on that path. And that's what I think a lot of people, again, like we talked about, following that blind path or sitting in someone else's shadow. And it's like, I was tired of being in somebody else's shadow and following a blind path of, I'm not old, but in my mind I'm too old now to just follow the herd. I don't want to be the herd. And, that's fine.
Yeah, perfect.
Sheep go in herds, wolves go in packs, but find the right pack that you want to be around that leads you in the right direction, or go be the lone wolf. As like the old Indian story goes of the white and the black wolf internally fighting and stuff like that, the dark and the light, again, going to the yin and yang, so you can go back to the Asian culture. But
yeah,
it's all that stuff of taking those leaps of faith, but also changing your mindset, doing things. It's like I told Jeremy, like, I got a stack of books and I'm reading 3 at a time right now, and how my brain is comprehending these things
I don't know.
It's insane. But like some of them can be like daily, like you read like a few or some, but I've been reading, 10 to 15, 20 pages in each one every day and stuff like that. But they all kind of merge in different realms. They're just telling different things in different ways.
That makes sense.
But finding things that get you to think, that help heal you, grow you. And if the things you're around don't do that, you're not finding the love and respect that you deserve.
Yeah.
Henceforth, where you need to go and change some avenue of your life. You can't stick to the white line anymore. Get off.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people that hear this may take from that, I may be wrong, but I would have some time ago. If you're in a situation where it's not pleasant, where a spouse or a lover or a friend or colleague is really making you angry, unless it's life or death or somebody's going to be injured or something is irreversible, walk away. There is more strength in walking away and not giving somebody else the same venomous, nasty, whatever it is, or just simply I'm right and you're wrong, even though maybe they're not. What are you going to get? Like the moment that they say, they like make that turn, which doesn't, you're probably not going to get it right away. But the moment that they say, oh yeah, you're right, that does nothing for our universe, our world, any more than saying, no, you're wrong. It's just what we do with that information when it gets into our little gray matter up top. And then we sort of twist it up and we make it what we want it. That ain't cool. That doesn't help you. What you got to do is walk away. What you got to do is listen. What you got to do is just sit, put your hands in your pockets, pay attention. Because as I said at the beginning of this little rant, maybe you're wrong.
Yeah.
It's possible. You might think everything in the world, everybody else is wrong, this, that, or the other, but, then you walk in the room and you think you're right, and it's like the old adage, now you're the asshole. I used to say that shit till I was blue in the face. If to my kids, to everybody, if you walk in the room and you're a jerk, or you're the asshole, or if everybody else is a jerk or an asshole, it's probably you. Probably.
Yeah.
Not always. I mean, I could imagine if a young Jewish fellow walked into an SS meeting, it would probably be not well, right?
Yeah,
like it's not right, but it's a little like, okay, that's it. But so you have to be smart about what you do. You have to be wise about what you do. But I truly think that the wisdom comes from practicing.
I agree.
Right.
Practicing these things, doing things that mentally strengthen you. Again, like we talked about, physical things, mental things you can do daily, reading, meditation, things that enrich you, being around people that enrich you. And I think one of the biggest strengths and things of, courage it takes is to, if something is poisoning you, to walk away from it or take that leap. And you might still be falling, and you might fall for a while before you hit the ground and before you start climbing back up again.
Right.
But I think you'll truly see once you take that leap, yes, you may fall for a while, and then you finally hit ground and start climbing back again. I truly think that you will find that the person on the other side, the newer version of you, you will like a lot better than the older version that you were experiencing. And that's a hard concept.
Definitely.
Again, to take those two words that we use, love and respect, yes, for others, but don't forget, first and foremost, before ever loving and respect somebody else, you have to love and respect yourself and be courageous enough to be who you are and stick to whom you are. Your morals, your values, and I think so many people throw those to the wayside to feel the need to fit in versus, you know what? I don't agree with your morals, your values, the things you do. I don't want to be a part of this.
Yeah.
But first and foremost, respect yourself, love and respect yourself. If you can do that, you can begin to do a lot of more greater good of your relationships, family, friends, your professional life, all that comes no different than, again, the mindset. You got to have a stronger head on your shoulders to be able to act with what's going on. And if you don't have those things, it's not going to fall into place.
Well, what if we could tell people, religious people or not, that all that talk about the rapture and heaven on earth and hell on earth and all these things, they're all right. But they're all right and dependent on each person. Right? You could be living a hell on earth.
You could.
You could be living a heaven on earth you could be in heaven, I could be in hell. You walk right past me.
Well, you don't know.
You don't know until you start feeling those energies from people, right? Until you really open everything up inside and just say, I'm a blank canvas.
Or have a conversation.
Ask. So, okay, so having said that, so if we have any kind of obligation to ourselves, it would be to get ourselves to heaven on earth.
Well,
right?
Like Lao Tzu talks about in Tao Te Ching, the great integrity, which is what all humankind used to exist, was the one way, how everyone was connected, everyone was in tune with nature, way, 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 way before time existed.
Yeah.
And then obviously his words have been interpreted, 81 verses have been interpreted by thousands of people. Again, remember, like I said before, Lao Tzu is before Christ.
Right.
So you're talking, this is way before the Bible and all this stuff. You're getting way old stuff here. It talks about the great integrity. The way, so to speak, is that the world was much more in this harmonious picture, that every human interacted with each other, was much more in tune with the earth. We took from nature what we gave. Nature gave it back. We had better respect for our fellow man and woman. We were all more unified, and too many things over time have changed, and I agree with it. Social media, news, technology has taken us away from a lot of those things. And even in his words, as no different than like Nostradamus has wrote, and, Da Vinci in their words of kind of predicting things, is people interpret, and he writes that the great integrity of the way will come back at some point in life, where I don't know if it means by Mother Nature or the world will take back itself, and we will have to find that way to get along and be in unity, or else we'll, be taken, as, many people wrote and did movies about. But I believe that we as a whole, as a human society, got to get back to a more simplistic way of not living, but the simplistic way of having that better respect, that you need to rely on your fellow human. We really don't have to do that anymore. I don't have to rely on you like, hey, Jeremy's the hunter of the group. Hey, did you get a kill? And here's,
right.
We're not exchanging of goods. I just go to the store. We don't have that anymore, in that mutual respect. I think we need to come back to the old way of, you need to rely on your fellow man. If you see a friend or someone who has that strength and you don't, go ask them the questions of that. Like, hey, or someone is very talented with their hands in woodworking and you're not. Hey, I would love to get back to utilizing the strengths of your fellow humans. And I kind of take that as like, what he talks about, the great integrity. And I think a lot of people, we don't do that. It's so much simpler. Oh, cool. I need this. Cool. Okay. I can get that online. Yeah. And there's certain things, we're not going to be able to build and things like that. I get that. But I think that as a whole, we need to look at the thing and get back to like, hey, you need to be a more bonded with your fellow man and be on that same path, and, have a more mutual respect for the world, the earth,
right.
nature. And I think as a whole, going back to those two words, love and respect, I think as a whole society of globally, we
right.
have lost a huge respect for those two words.
That's right. So
everything in life.
Oh, it's rampant. Yeah, everything. Everything from the moment you go to sleep to you wake up, you go to work, you get gas, you do all these things. You're in your own little bubble, and if anybody gets near your bubble, you freak out.
Oh yeah.
Right? I mean, oh my gosh. I was pulling into a parking spot the other day, and I drive a 7-inch lifted Jeep Cherokee everywhere I go, unless I'm with the wife. So it's a little raucous, it's a little loud, it's all those things. I pulled into a parking spot at a local gas station the other day, and there's somebody sitting in the car, and this lady is sitting in her car. The car is at about a 25 to 35 degree angle in the spot. My the tires are a little wide, right? But I fit well within a parking spot, right? Dude, she's looking at me.
Too close for her comfort.
Like I just did something. And I'm like, I look at the parking spot again because I'm one of those guys now, not before, that if I get out of my vehicle, even the one I got to jump in and out of, if I parked all messed up, I go back and I fix it.
Yeah.
I don't care if I'm in a hurry. There is no excuse that I have. There's no right that I have that infringes on somebody else.
Exactly. I was just going to say that. You're seeing that it affects somebody else down the line.
Yeah. So speaking back to what you were saying is you have to be man or woman enough to say, oh, shit, that's on me. Like I accidentally pulled, like I was passing somebody and I accidentally pulled behind them a little too close because I had to get over. There was somebody coming behind me and my Jeep's not a fast car. So I'm getting over and I'm a little close to the person in front of me, but I have no choice. They flipped me off. I waved at them.
Yeah, it's just one of those things like, yeah.
Hey, thanks, buddy. Appreciate it. But my son's sitting there going, Dad, what? I go, son, that is our world. Right there. They don't even think for a split second.
We react versus think.
It's hard, man.
And we're all guilty of it. Like we said before, like certain people know how to cut right through you to get riled up.
Oh, yeah.
But it's that sitting there going, taking that, is the old adage of counting to 5 or counting to 10 or whatever it may be. But it's those things, yeah, like the 3 people that, could have, one literally could have ran me over in the parking lot. Dude didn't even look when he was backing up and I was walking into the store, and just came, and I literally pushed off of his trunk, and he's like, hey, and I go, oh, hey, sorry, buddy. And I go, you're okay, man. Have a good day. I could have easily just been,
Oh, if you would have said anything counter, you would have had a confrontation.
Oh, and the dude, if he still had the car in reverse, he literally could have just kept, hitting the gas to take me out. And then, the lady that ran the stop sign, that hit it wide, who could have clipped me, and I had to go wide as I was turning. Okay, cool. And I saw you also had a car full of kids.
Yep.
You had an older one. You had 3 in the back seat. Maybe one of those kids distracted you for a moment, and you were just like, what? The young girl who was in the car had, 2 other friends in the car with her. You're young. Hell, at 16, she looked young, so I'll assume, teenage years. You were distracted, but you could see in your face when you swerved back in that moment, like, because I could see your face, and you were like, oh, my God. And then the one hand that was on the wheel became like, the quote-unquote 10 and 2. And I can't say that every day that I would be responding and seeing those things like that, but today was one of those days of, all right, cool. Hey, no big deal.
Well, that feeling that we get when we make a mistake, right? You get that sort of, they call it a pucker, but you do. You feel it in your lower abdomen, and then you feel it in your chest tightens, and you did all these things. But what we've been conditioned to do, or conditioned ourselves to do, is the opposite of what Jeff did. The only reason Jeff did what he did or didn't do is because of who he has made himself. Any one of you or I are capable of responding out of anger or fear, because that feeling incites what, Jeff? Fight or flight?
Yeah, and and all this happened in less than a 10-minute window.
Oh, I know.
These 3 instances.
Right, yeah.
But I can say too, on another day, I may not have been. And I wasn't like, and I was rushing out to get some stuff real quick to do something for my wife to, hang some stuff at home. And I was like, oh, I got to do this before I come here. And I'm like, okay, I got enough time. I can do it done. Yeah. But it's just like,
totally, man.
And I've been on the other side of those things. And today my brain was on that right alignment of, I've been the young kid when I've not been paying attention. I've been the one probably who's rolled a stop sign. I've been the one who's backed up and maybe didn't look and, oh, sorry, didn't see you there walking there as you're in a store parking lot. I've been exactly every one of those people, as we all have. And it's seen it in that different light. And again, I will state that I will not always be that way, but I am trying, as I hope everyone else is, that cool, 3 little instances that I could have gotten.
Well, it's just like you always say, Jeff, you got to find yourself back to the center.
Yeah. And today I was just like, okay, cool, whatever. I was just like, I'm still here, so what it would have done me no good to yell at the lady with all the kids.
Yeah.
Flick off the young teenage girl who already had her moment of heart attack, or the older gentleman who was, backing out of his handicapped spot and didn't see me. Like, I could have gone off, but what, cause a scene in a parking lot and everyone else, and I look like that person? I was just like, I pushed off the, trunk side panel of the car, and he's like, oh, so sorry. And I'm like, oh, you're good.
Yeah.
Have a good day.
Hey, yeah, right.
Like, literally, because he came out faster than he should, and just pushed myself off. Yeah. As you when you walk in a parking lot, you should hover towards the cars. Don't walk down the middle of the damn parking lot. But at least there's protection by the cars. You can dive into one of them, and the car will be the obstacle.
But Jeff, you know as well as I do, the person driving the car that's not paying attention is the same. I shouldn't say person. People is the same people that would get angry if you pulled out in front of them.
Yeah.
It's the same person. It's the same mentality of it's not my fault. It's your fault, no matter the situation. And that, I think, is sort of the crux of this this human juxtaposition, if you will. It's like, oh, hey, I love you. I'm full of love. I love you. I love my friends. I'm an evil son of a bitch. I can do horrible things to people, even if it's just through my looks, my words, not even my actions, right? We have to be able to get more and more and more people to that place where they go, I left my house with the most full heart I could today.
Yeah. I'll say that when he backed up, I had an evil look probably on my face, and I was like, okay, I'm good. And he was like, oh, you could see in the side mirror, he's like, and he looks, he's like, oh, I'm sorry. And I'm like, you're okay. It's good.
Right.
Have a good day.
Well, of course, there's an initial reaction to falling off a cliff, too.
Yeah. But my initial reaction was like,
right.
But again, it's those things. I could say, like, you're going to have different reactions on different days, but it's growing. And for those split seconds, my brain sat there and instead of reacting, I took a moment to think.
Yes.
Versus is, as fast as we can think and things that hit the brain, a million things are going on versus could have just been flipping the bird to everybody or going off. It was, okay, cool. We're good. Okay.
Yeah. I've heard a lot of people, they're like, well, I had a bad day. Well, I'm sorry that you made yourself have a bad day, because if you would have left the house in the right mind frame, when the bad things happened, it wouldn't have made your day bad. It would have given you the opportunity or the challenge to be the better person. And I don't mean the better person from the other person. I mean your better person.
Yeah.
Right? And if you don't start your day that way, sometimes it can be very, very difficult to get there.
It all goes back to what we said before, that, you control your emotions. You. No one else. Mm-hmm. You control your happiness. Now, obviously, there's certain things that can dictate and change that a little bit. But you control your happiness. So if you're having a bad day, is it really things that are making it a bad day, or flip it and turn it? Are you reacting to what's going on in a bad manner and see it in that way?
Yep.
And we all do this for humans, but it's a big thing, and I can't remember who says it, but going back to the emotions, if I constantly piss you off, my God, I'm always pissed at Jeff. I control you.
Yeah.
I now am your dictator leader,
right?
Without you seeing it and actually in front of you, and without it, it's a two-part thing, but not like I'm rationalizing. But if someone always pisses you off, they control you.
Yep.
So you guys got to remember, when you're thinking of your emotions, no matter which emotion it is as a human, that you have to understand and control those things of, I could have got pissed in those moments, or it's been a bad day because I was late. Okay, I was late, no big deal. You walk in, someone's like, oh, blah, blah, you're late. Yeah, traffic or this, or kids. Those may not be, they might see as excuses, but they're legitimate reasons. But just, hey, take it. Certain things will perspire and it could make it a worse day, but remember how you react to it is, again, all in your control.
Yeah.
And what might be a real bad day is really not, but you're just reacting to it the wrong way, and it just snowballs and grows.
Your bad day is all, like, the things do happen externally, but to be able to say you're having a bad day or a great day, they come from the same place. They come from your mind. They come from your internal dialogue. They come, you know what I mean? So at the end of the day, if you're in your car, your truck, you're walking, and you're angry about something, again, if it's not reversible, if it's life or death, I get it.
Those things.
But when it's reversible, when it's undoable, when it's a teachable or a learnable moment, embrace it. Don't get angry. Don't let it make your whole day bad. Yesterday I had about 15 minutes that were just terrible in my head. You know what I did? I went outside, took some water. And it didn't
sweat your ass off.
I know, right? It was hot. I did turn some fans on, but I had some nice cool water. I shut my eyes. And I just meditated. Nothing great, nothing, but it was spur of the moment. Like, hey, I need to get myself centered again because I'm letting this thought really make me angry.
Yeah.
Like, you understand that, folks? I'm letting this thought make myself angry, as opposed to, well, what good can I pull out of this situation?
Yeah.
Is it learnable or teachable? And that right there will get you started off on a much better way, either at the end of the day or the end.
No, and that's a big thing, and it takes time with that. And same thing with situations we've all been in, like things that I was a part of is the same thing as people joke, like, man, are you like numb to it? And I'm like, I'm not numb to it. I've come to accept these things, that they will continue to happen because these people do the same thing over and over and over again. They say no matter whatever, here or there, it constantly happens over and over in some different fashion. Yeah. I've just become accepting that this is going to happen. I'm not going to let what they continue to do to keep controlling my emotions. So then I just literally would be there like, okay, cool.
Totally, man.
And it takes to becoming that with anything in life to be more controlled. But again, if something keeps repeating and it constantly pisses you off and it can't be changed, you need to change your emotions about it, because whatever that situation is, again, is controlling you. And now you're being the puppet.
Right on.
But always remember that with every scenario, that if someone gets you pissed off, whatever, and those types of things, or someone makes you happy, let's turn it into a positive. Like, oh, I'm always so happy around them. Yes, but what are you doing that makes you happy when so-and-so is not around, which you still need to do and have, whether negative or bad? You always control every human emotion you have. You need to find ways to harness it when you don't need to explode. You need to harness it when you need to find ways to be happy, to be on that, I guess, homeostasis level of calm. But again, we're all going to blow up. We're all going to have days where we're like over the wall happy. But again, you still have to have those moments of that balance. But remember that you control every emotion in your body.
Yep.
You are the control system. You have to strengthen yourself across all boards to be able to handle whatever way it's going for that day.
100%, man. Because you don't know, you can't dictate, you can't prepare for a lot of things. If you watch any film about combat, amongst any of the eras within our military, you prepare for the unprepared. That's the statement. Like we prepare for what we don't know about. And that's a great thing to say. And we all felt like, we were hanging our hat on that at one point or another. But when things come out of left field, if you will, it hits you right in the face. You can't stop it.
Yeah.
But how do you react? Do you fall down the floor and cower in the fetal position? Or do you look directly back at what was coming to you? Because just like I've mentioned before in a convoy during a combative type of situation or scenario, you don't stop and assess. You go right through as fast and as hard as you can. You're going to lose some stuff. You're going to break some things. You're going to lose some people. Not nearly as many as if you would have stopped.
Well, yeah, that's
right?
a bigger thing.
So just keep going, people. Keep moving. Keep trying. We talk about these things, whether it's respect or the feeling or showing love or great care, enjoying the specified activity of or thing. That's loving, right? And it goes right back to the respect thing. And you can't have one without the other, right? And I want to say this here because I haven't said it enough yet, but the feeling of showing love or great care. So if you respect something or someone and you have a great admiration for it because of what it is, where it comes from, or what it does, well, then you probably love it. It's a feeling or showing great care. Enjoying something that somebody does, you love it. Okay, so real quick, and I know we've been going a little bit here, but I want to touch on just a couple other things real quick. And they all tie in here, Jeff, I promise. So earlier you were speaking about doing things for yourself so that you could be there for others.
Yeah.
Okay. So I want everybody, I'm somebody said I was Mr. Transparency once, and that's cool. I'll be that. So having said that, let me tell you what I'm doing for me, what I'm doing for my family, and then what I'm doing for y'all. And now this is not necessarily in this order or every day of the week.
No.
This is just something I want to throw out there for you. So, what do I do for my family on any given day? And it's not until I've done something for myself, but what do I do for my family? Well, I try to make sure that my kids understand the whys and hows of what I do every day, because it's not always about high fives and this. Some days you don't see me for 10 hours because I'm busy. But the thing I do for my family is just transparency. I never lie. And I'm there when I say I'm going to be there, right?
Yeah.
If I don't want to do something, I'm not going to do it. And I'm a protector. That's what we do, right? So I could go on to say that, I do barrel for my family. Financially, it doesn't do anything for us at this point. We don't make money. But what it does is something for other people. So what do I do for you? Well, I try to get you my words and hope they mean something. And Jeff's words, right? That's what he gives you right now. And then, my family and I, because we all have a part in making all of our products, whether it's, this shirt that my daughter and I tie-dyed together.
Yeah, because they remember the last time I saw them, they were white.
Yeah. So whatever, just doing whatever. And that, doing something for my family means tie-dyeing some shirts with my daughter, right? Going skateboarding with my son, playing some sort of music with my daughter, whatever it is. And this week, we're going to South Dakota and Wyoming. Oh, in Iowa. Yeah. We're going to take off, and we're not going to come back until, the next weekend. That's for them.
Be a great time.
Right? For me, I have a hard time with that because I know how much work I have to do. But that's okay. I'm going to do this, and I'm going to have a great time. I'm not taking...
It'd be good for the mental release for you. And
of course. Yeah.
Being out in those areas, let alone just beautiful scenery.
Well, and that's, if we weren't going to go see, anything, I'd be happy just going.
Yeah.
You know, because we're going to camp and then stay maybe at a couple military installations along the way if we can. If we're lucky enough, we're friends. That's one great thing about serving in the military and owning a small business. Between the two, you know somebody everywhere. It's wonderful.
Good. That's good. Really.
Yeah. So what do I do for me? Right? Because I used to think that barrel was for me. It's not. It's a great outlet.
At the beginning, it was.
It was. I needed something like that. And now it's turned into that whole like, no, I love it. It's still not a job to me, but it's busy. It takes a lot of work and a lot of time, a lot of care. So what do I do for me? Well, I take those walks in the woods. I go hiking. I do go on drives by myself. Sometimes I may not even come home. I might sleep in my Jeep, but I might need that. You know, I just have a different skill set than some people, and I also have a different bag of shit and a bag of tools. Like, I'm different. But I've decided recently to go get back into the musicianship, right? Be a part of Elbow Through Hammer, get up on stage, go practice. You know, we've been practicing for a while now over at the Jacoby Art Center in Alton. And every single night, I walk in feeling like I'm in heaven on earth. And then when I leave, it's even more so.
It's like a little kid in you being so thrilled and enticed of getting back to things that you're passionate about.
Beginning to feel like you're yourself, your true self.
Yeah.
You do things, you let them go. You do other things, you hang on to them. Sometimes you hang on to things for the wrong reason, and then over time, you don't even know why you do it or say it. Right?
That's very true, man. Like, you just like, why am I doing this? Makes no sense.
Yeah. Why did I do it yesterday, the day before, and the month before, the year before? It's ridiculous, isn't it? But I think that, you know, you do these things for other people. You do things for yourself, like me with the band thing, and it's a lot more than that, right? It's therapeutic.
Yeah.
It's the words that I grunt or growl out, not exactly a singing, they mean more to me than anybody will ever know, except for the people in the band. Because the songs that we've written and write, it is not calculated. It is not planned. It is what's right here, and it's coming out. And then when I get to give it to the world, it comes out all of it. The writing, the practicing, the nerves, the whatever you might have, it all comes out. And that, in its moment, is so much about me. It's just me getting it out. But the words that I sing, or the words that Joshua sings, every time people say, I've never felt that way before. Listening, watching music.
Well, like music or art or reading things, it brings that sense of connectivity to other humans because it's something that other people are thinking or feeling they just don't have. And it does that.
Yeah. It's probably a little bit like when you see anything out there that you don't have. You don't know how somebody got it. You don't know what it's foreign, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so because you live next to a gentleman who owns a 7 Series BMW, but you still drive your Camry from college, well, there's a lot to be proud of on both sides of that.
Yeah.
Right? And neither's right or wrong. But we've been conditioned ourselves again to think highly of one and poorly of the other.
Become a more materialistic society versus seeing people that, the man with the Camry might be more enriched and feel more blessed than the man with the 7 Series.
Totally, man.
You know,
totally.
But that's the way and that's what a lot of people teach others, especially these younger generations. And it sucks is that you're teaching them to be so materialistic that, you need this, this, and this, and this to be successful. No, you don't.
Yeah.
If you have a strong head on your shoulders, you're able to handle your things, take care of your family, whomever or whatever your life is. You are more rich than the man who has every dollar in the world, because typically some of those people who have all the money in the world are the most saddest people in dark places that you'll see, because they think that they can continue to do this, and then they pump it in other people's heads that, there's nothing wrong. If that's one of your goals to have certain of these things we talked before, like these vehicles or whatever, great. I'm all for it. But like I even said, if I was the richest man in the world, I probably still wouldn't have all these cars. I wouldn't have this giant house because there's just more shit to take care of.
Yeah, it's too difficult. And that goes right.
I would, be traveling the world. I'd probably have some little tiny house to come back to, but I would travel the world.
Yeah.
Probably give a lot of it away. Be a philanthropist and help other people that, things that you could do, or, help other people in a sense. I think that would be more rewarding. But
Yeah, it is.
That's a different world that we don't live in.
I've
There are
felt-
people that do that have wealth.
I've felt way more valuable to my society and to my people when I give things away. When somebody, I know they can't afford something, and I just go and I leave it in the mailbox. You know, I drop it on the step or I mail it to them and they don't even know it. That right there is what makes me know without a shadow of a doubt that we have a lot of work to do, because that feeling is natural and that feeling is beautiful, and it helps to shape the rest of your day in a positive light when you do that for somebody. But when's the last time you guys just outwardly gave something that maybe you couldn't afford to give? Or maybe you give more than what was necessary. Or maybe you just gave.
Yeah.
And it's not always material. Sometimes it's time, too.
In that way, too.
It does.
You did it to somebody, or
does,
vice versa, that they feel so blessed that they want to, wow, they did that for me. Well, man, they might do it back to the person that gave them something.
Yeah,
but
totally, yeah.
Then you feel like, okay, well, I could do that. Oh, well, then you think outside the box and you're like, I could do that for so-and-so and so-and-so. And I think those are great things that a lot of people just don't see.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think if it's impossible, like you see those people doing those other things, you just don't know how to get there, then it becomes unachievable. It becomes something that you'll never get, you'll never have, if it's something you want.
Yeah.
Right? Or maybe it becomes such a distraction that everything that you used to do for you, yourself, or for your family and those people around you now turns into, how can I get that thing?
Yeah.
How can I'm going to spend everything I can. I'm going to put my family into dire straits. I'm speaking from the heart here, people, because I did it. That doesn't get you anywhere. Get you nowhere.
Yeah.
You got to have good intent. You got to have good intent behind everything you do, or else you won't get the positive kickbacks or feedback. But if you do shit ill-hearted and without good intent, you'll get those same kickbacks and negative things coming back to you in a very poor light. Right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So anyway, that's that. I say all that because I know what I've done and where I've been with my family, and I know that I've messed up royally a lot. They're still here. There's nothing I couldn't undo. And short of taking someone's life or close to it or whatever, everything's fixable. So please don't get lost in the fact that you maybe messed up really badly at one point or maybe 100 points. It's okay. You can love yourself again, and other people will love you. You just got to put yourself out there.
For sure.
Yeah. So this little thing that we're doing, I'm going to play just a short bit of something we did a couple years ago. It's not the best quality. I don't have all the files here with me. I apologize. But I'm going to play this, and I don't know. You might hear these guys a little bit more in the future. We'll see. We'll see. Let me see what I can find here. Okay. And I'm not going to even come in at the beginning because our intro on this is a little lengthy. All right. I can't wait to start doing this out on stage again. Woo, man! So if anybody was here that night, we talk about positive energy.
Yep.
The place was vibrating with wonderful vibes. I mean, we had a few people throughout the evening, and everything during and after was like, I've never felt that. Like, what is that? What is that? And it's just the things that Jeff and I talk about. It's good intent. It's positive energy. It's positive vibes. It's saying what you want to do and doing what you want to say, but for all the right reasons,
Yep.
So, again, I would apologize if this was any other music for the background noise, but I think you guys are gonna like this, and I think that this right here will let you understand a little bit more about how it could make you feel so good just to get some stuff out, right? Talking,
Yeah.
singing, yelling, whatever. And again, the recording is pretty horrendous. I think this came from a phone, and I don't have the full thing, but
It's not bad if you say it's coming from the
yeah,
phone.
it come from a phone, and it was loud. But so anyway, it's a little raucous, it's a little loud, and there's a lot more than just that. But I'm not here to promote that. I just want y'all to know that there are things that we can do out there that that really do things for other people and yourself.
Yeah.
If you have the right intent.
That's true.
Right? If you get up there and you start dancing around like an idiot, you want to make yourself look tough and cool in front of everybody, it's not the same vibe. People look at you and it's like, what? But when you're speaking to somebody's inner soul, their inner dialogue, their inner child, their inner whatever, you can tell. You see it in their eyes. You can see the way they're moving. And it's just, to be able to be a part of that with other humans is remarkable. And I think that when you do that, whenever you get into the music, whatever it is, percussion or guitar or anything, I think that you go back to our the motherland. You go back to that.
They say like music
right?
is soulful. It connects you. It
the
different hertzes and everything, and the different the wavelengths of the sound like does things to the human body. They even said like music and sounds can heal.
Yeah, totally, man.
So yeah.
Right on,
so,
yeah.
No, it's with anything of artistic value, whether it's art, reading, poetry, writing, music.
Mm-hmm.
It all does something for the soul. It's just which aspect connects to you.
Yeah, totally,
to you,
totally.
It's music.
Well,
sure.
yeah, I think it's just...
And obviously in art, too.
I think what it is more than anything is just creating or making. And I like just doing something, adding something, being something, for other people. So that when, if you feel yourself becoming that self-licking ice cream cone that I talk about, maybe somebody else wants to take a lick. You know what I mean? Maybe somebody else is enjoying what you're throwing down, so to speak.
Yeah.
It's no more different than this show. And you and I, we get things out. You throw this stuff out there. It's therapeutic for us. We hope that parts of it are therapeutic for you. We hope that listening to this makes you a little better afterwards, like maybe even, incrementally. We hope that, not much different than a computer backup of a server or data. They have different versions of that. They'll have a new backup whenever it's just incremental. It's just little bitty changes every day.
But they're small enough that they make
a huge difference.
They affect the big picture.
That's
exactly.
Right. They sure do. And it doesn't change what you've been. It doesn't change your backup. It adds to it. And now that's going to be backed up tonight. You go to sleep. And then tomorrow you're going to have things added to that backup.
Yep.
You can always go back and grab these tools out of your tool belt or your bucket or your backup or whatever it is. You can go back and get these pieces and bring them to the here and now. But you can also throw them right back in the drawer when you're done with them.
It's true. Very true.
Right? We don't have to have all of our tools with us all the time.
No.
But you want to be able to reach back and get to them when you need them.
I
right?
agree. Yeah.
I think so too. And that helps you keep a healthy love and respect for people, right? I think that's really the genesis, if you will, of everything that you and I want to do or discuss in any given day, either here or with our family.
Yeah.
Right? Because this here, what we do and say is there's nothing here. There's no hoorah bravado, nothing. We're not wearing a mask here whenever we talk about this stuff. We know that it's important that people start to realize that there's more than one way to do anything.
Yeah, numerous ways, and it's not that it's going to work on the first try. It's going to take time, but it's things that we still working on ourselves, and everyone is a working project from day one of your birth to the day you die.
Totally.
Don't think that that you're going to be some elite specimen at this point. Every human being is always a work in progress. We are a never-ending project, construction site, and so think of your mind, your life, and those things in the day, and take what little bits that you can, like Jeremy was saying. So today, I got this backup. I got this backup. Think of those things just like that in your day-to-day life, and put those little tools to work when they're needed, and then put them away when they're not. And hopefully, over your course of your lifetime, your construction project gets better and better.
Yeah, man. We're no longer toddlers. We should probably stop shitting our pants, right?
Yeah.
All right, cool. That sounds good to me, man. Hey, everybody, that's it. That's a wrap. We love you guys, and we got plenty of episodes coming your way, and plenty in the future. And I'm about to bounce and go get some fresh air in our natural world, not this one that we're in right now. And Jeff, I hope that you have a wonderful week next week. We won't see each other. We'll be back at it after that, but we'll make sure you guys have some of us while I'm gone. Actually, you probably already heard it all, and this will be after the fact, so it really doesn't matter.
It's true.
Yeah, I'm so new at this. I don't know what I'm doing.
It doesn't matter, but people, when they get to it, they'll know. So.
They'll get it. They'll get it. Hey, guys, you're not wearing a diaper. You don't have to act like you are. Neither do I. But we still do it. Let's take them off, and let's realize that that everything that we've told ourselves is probably at least a little wrong. And let's learn how to fix those wrongs, guys. This is Jeremy, and I love you, and I hope that you're getting out of this what I'm getting and what I think Jeff's getting.
No, exactly, guys. So we appreciate you listening. Take it again. You find something useful, let us know. Something we could add, let us know. Because at the end of the day, if you help us, we're helping you. We're continuing the cycle to help each and every one of us, and that only makes things better.
That is what's up.
Exactly.
All right. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye, guys.
Peace.
Not to lose, not to lose, not to be right. Not to lose, not to lose.